Hi, all, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jules from Zero Discrimination on YouTube, as well as gypsydigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. Tonight, we have no special guest. We have a lineup coming, but the schedules have been crazy, so we just figured we get on. We have plenty to talk about. I know there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been going on. It is fall, so yeah. Hey, Gypsy, how are you tonight?
Hey, sorry, I had it on mute. Oh my, I'm good. It's just been a super busy day, as I'm sure your day has been busy too, and mine just hadn't stopped. And apparently, I did not charge my laptop in time, so I will not be in chat tonight. I apologize for that, but
Oh, it
good thing we're not
happens.
doing a giveaway tonight.
I know it happens. It has definitely been one of those Mondays, that's for sure. That's for sure. And it seems like the busier you are on the weekends, time flies by, and then Monday comes around and it's, oh man, I was wiped today from this weekend.
Well, you got to get out, didn't you?
I did. I
Well, we want to
did.
hear all about it.
I had a special guest. We've had him on the show before, and he came up to visit family in Maine, and we touched base before he came up, and Mr. Ron Waddell was up here, Mr. TikTok famous. And he reached out and he was really interested in the whole mudlarking. So we set up a plan to go Friday, but then that crazy like storm that hit New York with the rain and I don't know if you all saw the flooding, and it was set to hit our area, or the area we were going mudlarking, exactly when we were going to head out. And I told him, it's it helps. The rain really helps clean the mud off and the silt, but it's not generally enjoyable when it's not really, really warm out and raining. When it's cooler and raining, it really isn't that much fun. So we rescheduled to meet up at 7 a.m. on Saturday. So I was up like a kid on Christmas because I was so excited to be able to hang out with him. So I was up at like, I don't know, 4, 5 o'clock on Saturday, and then headed to the couple mudlark spots that I brought you to, Gypsy, and we mudlarked all morning, which was a lot of fun, and I'll get back to that. And then we took a break. He went back and had lunch, and then he met me at my house, and we went metal detecting for the entire afternoon. So the mudlarking was really neat. I brought him to the first spot that is the beach that we find the milk jugs. Do you remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
spot? So
Oh,
we
yeah.
we went there first. I'm trying to think. I think he found a clay marble.
Oh.
Got a lot of pretty shards. And it was funny, he picked one up and he's like, because he's really a metal detectorist. And he picked one up and he was about to like put it back down or whatnot. And I'm like, you got to keep that one. And it was a blue and white and it had a little boat in a harbor. It was like a
Oh,
scene.
cool.
And I'm like, we're in a harbor right now. You could look at the boats. I said, it can remind you of our mudlarking trip. So I convinced
Together.
him. Yeah, I convinced him to take it.
How funny is that? Oh, that is too cool.
And then we went to the other spot, the one that is like overrun with bottles that you have to like visit an old place and go through the woods and get down to the beach. And he said his eyes grew accustomed, and I think all in all he ended up with maybe 4 marbles, a whole bunch of porcelain buttons, a bone button, I mean, I helped in the beginning. Like if I spotted things, I'd go, like what I did originally with you, and I'd go, "Hey, you got to come over here." And I'd kind of give the area, I'd say, "Okay, it's in this area and it's round and it's this color or it's this shape and he'd look and he goes, "Ah, how did I not see that?" And then his own eyes, he did, they like he said it's like, what is it? The highlights where you find the things. But he found the most pretty perfume stopper. So it looks like the normal bottle stoppers, but it has the long glass that would go down inside the bottle, so you could get a little bit of perfume to dab on your wrists and neck and stuff. And it was
Oh, no.
just so small and delicate. He's like, and it was really, really pretty. And then he found I think he said a 1920 Wheatie. Um,
Wow.
and that was all just mudlarking. So, oh, a lead bale seal I pointed out for him, and so he got some really cool things while mudlarking, and then I brought him to the farm that I have permission to. I have a couple farm permissions, and I think we did the field that I haven't been able to detect yet. It was cut not that long ago, and while we were walking to the field, I noticed that they started harvesting the corn out. So all the sweet corn's been pulled. The cattle corn is
No.
up next, so I'm pretty excited by that.
Wow.
And I got a whole bunch of buttons, a spoon. Um, what was it? On that first day, I got this screaming signal. It sounded so good. It was so deep, and it ended up being like this big farmer, like part of a farm equipment, farm machinery, or whatever. So I threw that in
Hmm.
my pouch, and he found some really cool things, but I'm gonna keep that quiet at this point in time. I know he found a couple buttons that were really great, and we well, flat buttons, but for him, he was excited. And it was like what did he say? The only thing he had two things on his bucket list that he had hoped to find that he hadn't because he wanted to clay marble. He found it. A bottle stopper, he found it. There was a whole bunch of things that he was hoping to find that he found while mudlarking. And then the flat button from Maine, and trying to think of what else. All he had hoped for was a standing Liberty quarter because he had yet to find one of those, and a clay pipe or pipe stem or whatnot. And we talked today, and he was detecting, I think, one of his family's spots, and he found a coin spill with two standing Liberty quarters. So
What?
I think the trip to Maine, he successfully knocked off all the things that he had had on his bucket list except for the clay pipe. So I
Oh,
was,
my goodness.
I know, right?
Wow.
I was very excited for him.
That is so exciting. Wow.
Yep. And then come to find out, the big part that I had found, the property owners were out when we were coming back, and I stopped and I'm like, any idea what this might have gone to? And she's like, oh, that goes to our water system. It goes to the piping for the cows and stuff. She goes, it must have gone out in the crap, because they spread
Oh,
cow manure.
yeah.
And I was like, well, do you think, can it be used? And she's like, it's not cracked. And I was like, awesome. So, found another, I guess, might have been an expensive piece of equipment for him.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
Well,
that's
that's always
always,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I always love finding, especially if I can find some pieces that they can reuse. Like that's exciting. It's exciting because
I
I'm sure none of their equipment and parts are cheap.
oh
Especially
no.
just looking at the size of them. I mean, this thing took up almost the entire base of my pouch. It was huge. So,
Oh, wow.
yep.
Oh, goodness. Well, it sounds like you had fun.
Yeah,
So tell us.
that was just Saturday.
Oh, so you. you got out Sunday too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And even before I got out on Sunday, I was out with my dad in the morning, and we were in the parking lot. I was saying goodbye to him, and as we were walking to his car, we were both. He goes, "Do you see that?" I said, "I sure do." We were looking at the ground, and it was a name, one of those like it's marked 925 silver necklace with like the name on it. It says Peyton.
Oh, wow. How cool. Didn't know it
Yep.
had a name on it. I
Yeah.
remember, but wow, that is super cool. I love those surface finds.
Yeah, it was great that it was the both of us and seeing it at the same time. I mean, he's the one that truly got me into treasure hunting in the first place. So,
Right.
and and right now it's just too difficult for him to get in the fields. I mean, he's been driving around with his metal detector in the back, but all the spots I have are just too far of a walk um for him to be able to go. And I've been looking at those like not the side by sides, but like a four-wheeler to be able to go, all right, you're coming with me. I'm gonna get you out there. Um, so we could have a dig. And oh yeah, and then I think I talked to you Sunday afternoon briefly, and I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, blah blah blah. I'm like, they took the corn out. I'm like, just I gotta be pushed because I was just so tired from Saturday. And you're like, get out there, and I did. Ended up
that's
back in
it.
the yep, back in the field. Except I got the okay that even though there's the cattle corn still there, that the area that they took the sweet corn out, I could detect. So. Um, I ended up, I think, is it right here? Yep. I ended up with four buttons, another spoon, and then
Wow. What kind of,
uh, just a,
okay.
silver plated spoon, and then an 1835 large cent.
Whew.
And she's got a lot of meat left on her, so I'm
Oh,
pretty
man.
excited to clean her back up. Miss.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her cleaned up. She sent me a photo of it after she found it, or I guess after you came back from hunting. And I was like, oh my gosh, it it looks really nice, like really good. Like you said, a lot of details on it, from what I could
Mhm.
tell.
So that's one that the property owner is gonna enjoy. They're gonna enjoy that one. It looks pretty. It is. It's a nice looking coin. Nice looking coin. But I think you said you were getting out this past week too, right?
Sorry, you there? I was just putting my headphones in. I apologize for that.
No, it's all right.
Let's try to charge my phone. Okay. Um, what were you just saying?
I said you got out too, didn't you?
I did. So I took a road trip this weekend.